GMOs are genetically modified organisms that are created as a result from a laboratory process where the DNA of one organism is extracted and artificially placed into the genes of a totally unrelated organism. This process is called genetic engineering or genetic modification. Both plants and animals of all kinds are capable of being genetically modified or engineered. Note that GMOs are not related to crossbreeding or hybridization, which involves two related organisms. The desired results of GMOs were the following: greater crop yield, increased drought and insect resistance, and raised overall nutrition. However, genetically modified organisms raise risks of allergies and cause allergic reactions or other negative side effects in those who consume them, due to modifications and introductions of certain genes and proteins that were not originally indigenous to the organism. In addition, modified plants may spread rapidly into the wild and smother the original strain of its kind, effectively causing it to go extinct. Although GMO plants and animals have been widespread almost everywhere in the world because they are economically cheaper to produce and sell, they're required to be labeled as so if they are being sold, in most places. In fact, genetically modified foods are greatly restricted and even banned in most countries in the world. The only exceptions, as of now, are Canada and the United States, where GMOs are the most common and are not required to be labeled if they are being sold. There are many political controversies regarding the topic of genetically modified organisms, and the Canadian government is still currently debating whether or not to impose an anti-GMO law after all the pressure and protests from many that were concerned about their health after ingesting large amounts of GMOs in their daily diet. The biggest question is, why should anyone care? The most concerning fact is that the biggest company developing GMO plants, and with the largest market share of it in the world, is none other than Monsanto, the very same company that sells the weed killer called Roundup. Due to the fact that they produce pesticides and many other chemical products. They even have what they call Terminator seeds, genetically modified seeds that only grow for one season, forcing farmers to keep buying them each year. Their motives behind their GMO plants are questionable. In order to change and effectively halt the production of genetically modified organisms, those in the world must recognize that it is a very important issue that will impact those all over the world. The government should create laws against GMOs and minimize the amount of pesticides used on crops. Land should be placed aside to be used specifically for growing crops, and individuals should be encouraged to use their own backyard space to grow their own garden. DNA and genes belong explicitly to specific organisms for a reason. Those who do not properly understand that should not be tampering with the genetic makeup of life.